So this is the portion of this video where I just express how much this moment means to me.
And let's build your blueprint. This is the Inspired Blueprint podcast with Tatiana Muse. Let's go.
I am trying to make a podcast. I guess that's what's happening. I never wanted to make a podcast. I've been listening to them for so many years, and earlier this year I started getting this feeling of like, oh, this is something you can talk about on the podcast or whatever the case is. And I've just been kind of like, I don't want to make a podcast. Like that was never my thing. I'm like, oh, okay, YouTube's my thing, and I don't know where it came from. Well, I do know where it came from, clearly. And I really am working on being obedient, but I'm going to be honest, it's freaking me out a bit. I feel like this reminds me a lot of singing in some ways, just like some of the same programs. Like I'm thinking about possibly doing it in GarageBand, but my computer's acting funny right now. Like I have this microphone. I don't even know if it's a good one for this or not, but I'm going to try it out. It's a blue microphone, so I think it'll work. But yeah, GarageBand wasn't loading, so now I'm trying this other thing. It's called The Script. I already have it for another reason, so I'm thinking I might as well do it. And then I literally sat there for an hour going back and forth with, do I want this to be a video podcast or not? And then I was like, I never wanted it to be a video podcast because I already do YouTube. And I really wanted this to be kind of like a more, like an audio platform. Like I wanted it to be a different medium for me. So I'm not going to say I'll never do a video podcast, but I just really don't want to do it on video. I don't know. At least not these beginning episodes. I'm in my closet because I think this is like a good place to record. There's not a lot of sound bouncing. And then that is also another reason why I didn't want to do the video. I'm like, what am I going to do a video in my closet even though I'm here in my closet doing a video? Y'all, what I will say, I just got off the phone with my mom and I was just telling her, I'm like, I'm really scared to do this. I sent her the intro the other day that I'm like playing around with some music and the intro for it, and I don't know, it's like I usually am really good about like going for things, which clearly I'm doing it. I mean, I've been putting it off for some months, but I'm doing it, and I was actually going to try to do it next year, but I was like, no, I'm pushing to do this year. And I was just telling her, I'm like, even with the video thing, I'm like, I never wanted to do video for the podcast. But I was getting caught up in what everyone else is doing because everyone does video podcasts, it seems like. But I already do video. And I'm like, why am I getting caught up in what other people do? And I want to do how I want to do it right now. Maybe down the line I'll change my mind and that's cool, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm all over the place. Like I said, this is just me and my honest thoughts right now. And I'm just kind of freaking out. I'm going to be recording an episode for this thing. I want it to do well, but I also just wanted to touch people and impact people because a lot of the subject matter is going to be a little deeper than what I talk about on here. And maybe that's also why it's a little scary. I'm not even necessarily doing this to be like, oh, I'm trying to make like a whole bunch of money, or I'm trying to grow and have all these listens and all this stuff. Is that even the right word? Listens. Downloads? Something like that. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to record this. I don't know when this video is going to go up. I want to just kind of document me preparing to launch this podcast. And today, this is more so me just playing around. I just wanted to test something out. If it sounds good, I'll keep it. Obviously, if it doesn't, then I won't. But I don't know. We'll see how this goes. All right, let's talk about it. We are going to get into the mental stress that comes with launching, and I already know that this is going to be a heavy episode for me because it's something
because I'm just so passionate about all of these things. And so fast forward, after it took me a year to even figure out I wanted to do the business.
I just submitted my podcast trailer to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and a few other ones through my host. So I just woke up from the best nap. But you saw that short clip and then ended up having to get out because my husband was coming. Fun fact about me, I don't necessarily like vlogging when he's around. Like, he makes me nervous. So when I heard him coming, I hurried up and turned the camera off. Okay, last night I ended up playing around with some stuff in Buzzsprout, and I decided to publish the trailer. I wasn't planning on doing that. I was just going to release everything at the same time on the day, but it was just kind of weird because I wasn't sure how long it would take for it to go on there. They were saying some stuff can take up to a week or more on Apple Podcasts. So of course I wanted to be on there. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, I should just have a trailer up just like people do before something comes out. Definitely one of my next investments needs to be a car tripod because clearly I like to record in the car and the phone is always falling down. But anyway, I decided to post the trailer episode, and I'm going to be honest, I was kind of a little bit anxious getting ready to do it, and then I thought I had a little bit more time, but no, literally basically the next morning, this morning, everything was up on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. There are some other ones as well that I submitted to, so definitely let me know if there's certain, besides the big ones, if there's a place you listen to a podcast, I can try to make sure that I get it on there if I can. So yeah, share that with me. I would love to add it as many places as possible so people can listen to it. Decided to send it to I think maybe 12-ish, maybe a little bit more people, just to kind of get it started. Because then I thought, I was like, oh, well, I guess there should be some interaction going on because it won't be actually live and regularly getting posted for another 2 weeks. So anyway, I just wanted to share that little milestone because the trailer is up right now, and I'm going to share on Monday, I think, with my audience, everyone on my YouTube channel and all of that you can go listen to the trailer episode. So I'll share that. I just need to come up with some content around that. I'm in the process of planning out launch week for the podcast. I'm also in the midst of a launch for just the Inspire Blueprint, the brand, the shop, and everything too. So lots going on over the next 2 months, but I'm feeling really good about it. And the first episode of the podcast really lays out the foundation of really what the Inspire Blueprint is all about. There's an acronym for the word inspire, and it's just really good. So anyway, I'll share more in depth and sit down about my feelings, but I just had to just say that it was really cool to send the link to people to be on podcasts. I listen to podcasts for years. I've been listening to podcasts, and so just to see my picture on there and stuff, and it just feels good. It feels like a milestone that I wasn't really expecting, but it feels good to be on the platforms, and I'm glad I just went ahead and pushed that button to get it on there. And yeah, so if you want to hear that trailer, because when this goes up, the podcast won't be quite ready yet, but you can listen to the trailer. I'll make sure that the link to it is down below in the description. So this is the portion of this video where I just express how much this moment means to me. This vlog has been really fun to just capture some random moments over the weeks. I definitely should have got more footage, but I just was so in the zone of recording this podcast and putting it together for you all and really just bringing this work of my faith to you, because when I tell you, I have always been a lover of podcasts for many years. And I never had it on my heart to create one because I felt like, I have all my other platforms. And so it was really weird when this year I all of a sudden was like, I would love to do a podcast. And I think it all came with just this whole pivot that I've had this year of closing my stationery business and just trying to figure out where I fit in, what I'm trying to do, who I want to be. And one of the biggest things is that I really want to be known for inspiring people. And so I want to meet people where they are. And I know that podcast is such a amazing place. I love listening to them when I'm walking and when I'm in the car, and how just amazing they feel to listen to, and how great the connection is once you start to really get to know the host, once one of my favorite ones, just to shout her out, is the Sunday Jumpstart podcast with Jessica Lauren. By far probably my number one favorite podcast, which I think even in that, not even knowing it, she's encouraged me in so many ways to be like, oh, I should go for this, because it's just cool to have your voice heard, your message heard in multiple ways. So anyway, the Inspired Blueprint podcast is such a beautiful project, and the last few months has been just a lot of learning, a lot of getting out of my own way, getting vulnerable, and just submitting to the process. I've had a lot of setbacks. There's been times when I'm like, maybe I don't need to do this, but I decided to announce it instead of just folding in on what I wanted to do, because it means more to me to get the message out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look amazing all the time. It just needs to get out there to those that need to hear it. And so I strongly believe in the message of what this podcast is about, to help you get out of your own way, to create a life full of freedom, impact, and legacy. I say that in the intro, and I truly mean that, because I think in order for us to build these businesses we dream of and build these lives we really desire, having this North Star of knowing like, okay, I want freedom in my life, whatever that looks like for you, because it's going to be different for all of us, what we perceive as freedom. And then what impact do you want to leave as people interact with you, as they get to know you? Who do you want to be, the energy you want to let off? How do you want people to leave your presence and feel? I know for me, I always want people to feel encouraged after talking to me, and I want them to feel just like the fire to want to go do something. And so anytime somebody tells me that, like after a conversation, I'm always like, okay, I'm right on with the impact that I'm trying to make in other people's lives. And then even deeper, what is the legacy? Because once we're gone, what is the things that we've put in place while we were here on earth that will stand the test of time through the generations that come after us, through our own bloodline, but even those that happen to just stumble upon us later on, on the internet, or, if you write books or podcasts or whatever the case is. And so this podcast is really a place for us to come. There's going to be some guests, especially starting in season 2. This season is really going to be more so just my heart and sharing just the deeper places of being a female entrepreneur, being a mom, a wife, trying to just navigate learning who I am, loving who I am, and how all of that fits together, how all of those pieces come together. Because the entrepreneur, there is no entrepreneurship without the entrepreneur. And so I'm really hoping that the podcast will take that foundation of the INSPIRE acronym, bring in the blueprint of what we're trying to create together. And through me sharing my heart, my personal experiences, my tools, my tips, and just really getting deeper on the podcast, I feel like the podcast is the next layer of really getting to know me even more, because I feel like on YouTube, I try to keep the videos as short as I can. I know sometimes they're a little long for some people. Some people like it. I know it just depends on who you are. But for the podcast, I feel like I don't really have a time limit. Like I'm on there to really share. And for those that are really wanting to listen and to learn and to just get a new perspective on something, I think that it's going to be a great place for you. So definitely make sure you click the links down in the description to learn all about the podcast, get on the wait list. If it's already live when you're watching this video, go check it out and listen. Right now, as I'm filming this, the trailer episode is actually available for you to listen to. It's called Welcome to the Inspired Blueprint. And it's just such a full circle moment for me. I kind of talked about this on the intro episode, but I used to record in my room with my little janky mic setup. I'd be on GarageBand and I would be recording the music and things that I wrote. And so for me to be doing this, even though it's not singing, it looks very different, it feels full circle to me. It feels so cool to be recording this, putting it out there. And honestly, being on Spotify and being on Apple Podcasts is very reminiscent of me wanting to be on there with my music. And so it's just really cool how God works. And I'm just grateful to have even another platform for me to share my message on. And it's only going to get better. I wanted to just say, I do plan on having some video episodes in the future, but most of it is going to be audio because I do so much video content. I really wanted a place where I could just be comfortable not feel like I needed to be, you know, dressed up for the camera or whatever the case is, but to just really get real, you know, like to just feel good. I recorded in my closet, and it's not really the most amazing thing to be looking at for a video, but the message is so good. So I encourage you, definitely check out the Inspired Blueprint podcast. Thank you for watching this vlog. And if there is something that you have been wanting to do and maybe you just were a little bit scared, or you are in your own way, I hope that this encouraged you just to see me walk out yet another thing that I was scared to do. This was something that I felt like, I don't know if this was something that I was very nervous to do, and I put it off for a while. And so this channel, what I love about it is that I have really been able to show so much of me living out my dreams right here and unfolding it for you all. And so I really hope this encouraged you to go for whatever it is. That is what this channel, this community, this brand, this everything that I am trying to build and create, that is what it is all about. It's encouraging you to see that you can do it too, to see that it's not always rainbows and butterflies, that it is a steady process. It is a constant relearning how to push yourself to do something. And so I really hope that you were encouraged through this vlog, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.